Good evening, I'm Matt Woodman. This is CTV News at 5. Tonight, in or out, parents need to decide whether their kids can learn about sex ed at school. An unconventional convention center. Some councillors worry a new event space will lead to losses at 2 city facilities. And a seasonal drain, why outdoor city pools are closing despite the late summer heat wave.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Matt Woodman.
Parents have a lot on their plates while planning for back to school. That's why the YWCAs of Alberta have launched a campaign to remind parents to opt their students into sex health education this fall. As CTV's Miriam Valdez-Carletti reports, new legislation requires schools to implement opt-in policies.
There's a lot to remember when it comes to sending your kids back to school. The YWCAs of Alberta want you to add one more thing.
Starting September 1st, parents and guardians need to opt in if their child is to receive sex ed.
The YWCA wants parents and caregivers to understand the changes and make a proper informed decision. COO Catherine O'Neill believes sexual health education is valuable at any age. Public data from Open Alberta shows an 11-year-old girl gave birth last year, and 6 14-year-old girls also gave birth.
The evidence is clear that when you have good sexual education as a youth, that you'll protect yourself against things like STDs, teen pregnancies.
Among other changes, the new legislation says teaching resources that deal with gender identity, sexual orientation, or human sexuality must be approved by the education minister. The province says the amendments will strengthen parental involvement.
I think that's perfect, because then the parents can decide this is something we definitely will teach our children at home.
At some point in their life, the kids are still going to get exposed to all those things, so I feel like easing them into that part of their life is only proper.
Prior to legislation, children were automatically enrolled in sex education, and parents could opt out. In a statement, the province says this change provides clear direction to school boards to ensure parents are fully aware of and consent to their child participating in classroom instruction on these topics.
It's really unnecessary, these barriers and added hoops for the opt-in. What was working before was just the opt-out.
Support Our Students Alberta says the extra opt-in step will leave gaps in Alberta sex health education. The province says a list of approved learning and teaching resources will be available online at the end of the month. Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News, Edmonton.
Alberta teachers and the province are back at the bargaining table today in an effort to avoid a strike. In June, teachers across the province voted overwhelmingly in favor of a strike. Sticking points include growing class sizes, support for students with complex needs, and wages. Alberta's premier acknowledges the need to deal with things like aggression in the classroom, but says funding is adequate. If no deal is reached, teachers have until October 7th to hit the picket lines and must give 72 hours notice. The group representing the province at the bargaining table will vote Friday whether to lock teachers out. The Alberta Next panel will reconvene tonight for a town hall in Fort McMurray. These meetings have been held to address grievances that Danielle Smith says are inspiring separatist sentiment. The panel has pitched 6 policy ideas, including pulling out of the Canada Pension Plan and creating a provincial police force to replace the RCMP. Another issue up for discussion is the idea of withholding social services from some immigrants. A recent panel in Edmonton boiled over with a fiery mix of hecklers and supporters. The Premier and panel members will head to Lloydminster on Wednesday. Alberta's Parks Minister says a person attacked by a grizzly in southern Alberta is expected to recover. In a social media post, Todd Lowen says the attack happened over the weekend near Milk River. The person was fishing at the time. Lowen says the bear was with cubs when the attack happened, and he suspects the grizzly was acting defensively. He also says the bear hasn't been seen since the mauling. Alberta Fish and Wildlife officers have set up bear traps and trail cameras in the area. A local brewery is helping people stay hydrated this week. With more hot days ahead, Arcadia Brewing will hand out water to vulnerable people downtown. The brewing company is asking for donations of bottled water.
We're not just a business. We trying to give back to the community as much as possible. That's not just by supporting businesses or foundations. It's about breaking down maybe stigmas or walls and actually going out there and bringing empathy and kindness and love out to the streets of our city.
Donations can be dropped off at the Manchester Square Brewery at 120th Street and 107th Avenue. Time is running out to visit most of the city's outdoor pools before they close for the year. As CTV's Merrick DeCash reports, Edmonton pools have experienced a significant drop in attendance this summer.
Perfect weather for a day at the pool, much like what the next few days have in store.
We were expecting like this for like 30 or 40 days this summer, and we definitely did not get that.
With outdoor pool season coming to a close on Monday, folks at Wahquintawin Pool are making the most of a sunny day.
Well, I understand there's going to be one open in the city, but this one will close apparently, so which is a shame, really. It's a pretty popular one for the neighborhood.
I think they should try and let the pool stay open longer if the weather's nice.
Even though it's been sunny this week, outdoor pools across the city have seen a major drop in usage this year.
Our numbers last year were double what they are right now. So, yeah, we're about close to 80,000 for all year this year, where we were around 160 last year.
Pool operators are blaming rainy days for keeping Edmontonians away.
Our numbers are way down this year with those afternoon rainstorms, right? People weren't just weren't coming out in big numbers like last year, even with the smoke.
And despite the wishes of many, the city says pools cannot stay open past this weekend.
We just don't have the staffing, right? A lot of the people that we use, the front counter staff, our lifeguards, they're going back to university on Tuesday if they haven't already started to prep to go back to school.
The final day, people can enjoy the outdoor pools at Borden Park, Mill Creek, Fred Broadstock, and Wahquintawin is Labor Day. Queen Elizabeth Pool will remain open until September 14th. Merrick DeCash, CTV News, Edmonton.
Josh, no surprise, the pools were pretty busy today with that record-setting heat out there.
Yeah, and this could be the first of 3 or maybe 4 consecutive days with record highs. We get to 32.2 today. We're still at 32. Downtown Edmonton, 30s outside the city. Light wind, lots of sunshine out there. The record was 32.0 from 1981, but you can see we broke that, and we may actually get a 1/10 of a degree even warmer, 10 degrees above average for your daytime high today. Should be around 33s for daytime highs tomorrow and again Thursday. This is what it looks like outside right now with the CTV drone. Sunshine with just a little bit of cloud cover there in the foreground. That is a beautiful shot. Downtown off in the distance. Lots of heat out there. It was a little hazy as well in the Edmonton area as that heat aloft with the upper ridge and trapping in some pollutants. You have had a few cracks in that upper ridge that have led to some thunderstorms southwest of Calgary through the foothills. We were anticipating that, some terrain initiated thunderstorm activity there, and then just enough of a trigger here in a couple of spots in east central and northeastern Alberta. Some really isolated thunderstorms. That one as well got going over the Swan Hills region and then rematerialized just north of Barhead. All of that should shut down in the next hour or so. None of it expected to roll through the Edmonton region. We'll stay clear overnight tonight. 15 degrees tomorrow morning and a high of 33 for a second straight record-setting high. We'll talk about the 3 and 4 straight days of record-setting highs in just a couple minutes.
All right, Josh, thank you. Coming up next on CTV News, a boost for business. Excitement growing for some as the city approves transforming Fan Park into an event park.
For the visitor economy, this really is a huge investment.
By James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
You're watching CTV News at 5.
A new event park next to Rogers Place is on its way. The $250 million park will be a medium-sized venue for concerts and other events. Some councillors worry it will take away bookings from the city's 2 convention centers. As CTV's Jeremy Thompson reports, the tourism group that runs those venues expects they'll all work together.
City Council has inked a deal with the province and Oilers Entertainment Group to turn the fan park into an event park. It was billed as a medium-sized concert venue and community space, but city staff added conferences and trade shows as potential uses during negotiations.
That was not on my radar throughout these conversations, and I think it creates a direct threat to our city-owned convention center, also our expo center as well.
City staff didn't have time to do the typical impact analysis for the event park. Instead, City Manager Eddie Robar relayed information from text conversations with the Oilers to councillors in real time.
Like CFR Junos, CCMAs, World Juniors, those kinds of things, but as far as their primary use, it's not conference use.
For the visitor economy, this really is a huge investment.
The head of the tourism body that runs the Edmonton Convention Centre and Expo Centre says a venue like the event park will attract more people to Edmonton. Tracy Bednard believes that will boost the city's brand, in turn boosting convention centre bookings. But that's not the only part of the deal she's excited about.
With the demolition of Northlands, the realignment of the LRT, that is going to enhance our Edmonton Expo Center.
It's been nearly a decade since the Oilers played their last game in the Coliseum. This deal will see it torn down next summer and begin early work for future housing on the site. It also includes $68 million to prepare land north of Rogers Place for housing, with 350 units to be built by 2028.
In any sort of city building enterprise, everyone gets skin in the game. And the reason for that is so that everyone does their part.
Councillor Aaron Paquette voted for the deal that he says protects Edmonton taxpayers by capping the city's contribution.
The province is offering us $183 million free and clear. Why, in what world do we not take that money?
The event park is scheduled to open in 2029. Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
A physician from Edmonton who traded in his stethoscope for a hockey stick has coached his team to a gold medal victory at an international tournament.
I don't think anyone expected us to come in and win the gold. It's only our second year in the tournament, so it was an amazing feeling.
Cameron Saber was the head coach for the men's Pakistani hockey team at the Marigold LATAM Cup. It's a tournament comprised of dozens of teams representing 16 countries trying to grow the game of hockey. The men's Pakistani team went undefeated, going 5-0. They beat Peru 6-1 to win their first championship at the LATAM Cup.
With this win, our goal is to kind of get the attention of the country of Pakistan, their Winter Sports Federation, and hopefully we can start running some clinics over there, help maybe get some ice surfaces created for local players.
There was one player from Alberta on the roster from Airdrie. Saber says their attention now turns to another international tournament next spring. Still to come tonight on CTV News, stepping into Scandinavia, the Alberta tourist attraction allowing you to learn the ways of Norway.
We have one of Red Deer's best kept secrets. We've been trying to change that.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Called due to high levels of lead. The recall affects Lars branded furniture, including the Lars counter table, chair, wood top, metal base, and tabletop glass insert. Health Canada says the black coating on the products contained an excessive amount of lead. More than 17,000 affected products were sold across the country between June of 2023 and July of this year. No illnesses have been reported. People who bought the furniture are advised to stop using it immediately. Air Canada customers looking to file a complaint over their experience during the recent flight attendant strike should be prepared to wait. The Canadian Transportation Agency says the backlog of complaints stood at about 85,000. That was of August 14th, and that was 2 days before the Air Canada strike began. The backlog has been growing since the federal government passed rules in 2019 setting compensation amounts for things like flight delays and cancellations. So far, there are no numbers for complaints against Air Canada due to the strike. new survey is shedding light on the effect the trade war is having on the shopping habits of Canadians. Interact says 78% of the people polled reported redirecting at least one monthly purchase from a big box or international retailer to a Canadian business since tariffs were first announced. A quarter say they are shifting 3 to 5 purchases a month. The company says its transaction data shows small and medium-sized businesses consistently outpace larger merchants in year-over-year volume growth between April and July. A museum tucked away in Red Deer is dedicated to showcasing and preserving Norwegian culture. As CTV's Miriam Valdez-Carletti reports, it's been providing educational experiences for the past 35 years.
This log cabin in Heritage Square doesn't look like much, but when you step inside, you're transported to Norway and Scandinavia.
We have one of Red Deer's best kept secrets. We've been trying to change that.
The Norwegian leftist museum isn't something you see every day. Founding mother Betty Wolf wanted to build an international village.
Her original idea was for other cultures to build a house like ours and share their cultures and history.
The Norwegian house was built and opened its doors in 1987. The rest of the houses were never built, but this one still stands today. It was made to be a replica of a traditional Norwegian storehouse, including a staircase to an upper level.
So the kids would actually sleep upstairs, and once they were all tucked into bed and put away, they would take the ladder off, and so no one could get up or down.
While there aren't many Norwegians in Red Deer today, the influx of immigrants came in the early 1900s. Every inch of the cabin has a unique knickknack or trinket that showcases Norwegian culture, all things donated.
The older people are, dying, and the family doesn't, the young ones don't want a lot of the stuff, so then they contact us.
A lot of Norwegians that have actually visited us have said it's a lot of our artifacts is something they would find in their great-grandparents' house.
You can see Norwegian culture in its kitchen and bedroom and also experience it hands-on. The museum holds regular crafting and baking classes.
My father was Norwegian, so I didn't know how to make any of the Norwegian dishes, so that's why I originally joined.
While entry into the museum is free, guests are encouraged to donate to keep its history alive. In Red Deer, Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News.
A bonanza for pin collectors this weekend in Calgary. The Calgary International Pin Club is organizing its 35th annual Festival of Pins. The club formed after the 1988 Winter Olympic Games when the pin trading craze really took off. Now members have branched out and are collecting a variety of pins, and not just ones from the Olympics. They say the festival is a chance for people to bring in some of their own pins, to have them evaluated and hear what they could be worth to the right collector. This year, the festival is celebrating the 50th anniversary of the beaver becoming the official symbol of Canada.
There'll be hundreds of thousands of pins on display, and as the sign says, trade, sell, buy. Great family event. At best part of it, free admission, so folks are welcome to come in for the 2 days.
The Festival of Pins is free to check out and will be held Saturday and Sunday. Coming up on CTV National News, details of the trade talks between Canada's Trade Minister and the U.S. Commerce Secretary. Then at 6, Canada Post has reported its largest financial loss in a single quarter in the midst of ongoing labor negotiations, and how a piece from an Alberta artist ended up in the hands of Paul Stanley from the rock band Kiss. Those stories and more on CTV News at 6 with Jeff Hastings. A warm one out there today, Josh. A record setter, in fact. Boy, that's more of a tongue twister than I thought. And we may see more record setters on the way.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I shouldn't say for sure, but almost guaranteed to get 2 more. Tomorrow and Thursday. Friday's going to be awfully close. We'll show you that in a second. There's the Action Furnace River Valley Skycam. Action Furnace, fixed right over, it's free. Sunny skies, little haze out there, and 31 degrees right now after 32 for a high today. 30s, Fort McMurray, Cold Lake, Lloydminster, 32 in Grand Prairie for a daytime high today. Environment Climate Change Canada, kind of bending their own rules here. Morning lows are not going to be in the teens. They're going to be a little cooler than official criteria for a heat warning. But this heat warning has been extended to no longer include Edmonton only, but to also areas south through Red Deer and Calgary, and east central and northeastern Alberta. Yeah, I mean, You could basically just paint the entire province in a heat warning, though. It is going to be excessively hot for the next number of days right across the province. Now, you've had some cracks, as we said, in the upper ridge, that warm air aloft. And so you've got one little cell here just north of Viking. Doesn't look like there's any lightning attached to that. This one's fizzling out here northwest of Cold Lake. And these, well, you can see how they were going over the elevated terrain there, Swan Hills. That's what helped initiate it. And then it kind of popped up once again, just off to the northwest of Westlock, just north of Barhead. That all falls apart before it gets even close to the Edmonton area. So clear skies overnight tonight, sunshine through the day tomorrow. Again, especially through the foothills, you might see 1 or 2 isolated thunderstorms. And that's probably the case late Thursday as well. There's your upper ridge in the darker oranges here. Watch how this kind of breaks down a little bit as we head towards the weekend. And so Sunday into Monday, this little ripple here, it's not really cold aloft, but there is a bit of a change to the pattern, and that might be enough to set off some showers and possibly thunderstorms on Labor Day Monday. Tomorrow morning, 15 degrees in Edmonton. There's your 10 to, well, Lloydminster is about 14 degrees, but 10s and 12s across the northeast, about 11 degrees tomorrow morning in through the Peace Country. 33s, though, for daytime highs there tomorrow. 32 in Fort McMurray and Cold Lake, Coronation, Lloydminster, Red Deer, all at about 32 and 32 into Jasper as well. Here in Edmonton, we'll see 15 degrees tomorrow morning, and then 33 for a daytime high. A little bit of a breeze, about 10 to 15 kilometers per hour, so a little more of a breeze than we had today. The record high for tomorrow, 31.1 from 1934. That one will fall. We'll get to 33 tomorrow. This is actually 31.7, also from 1934. That one's probably going to fall. So that would be 3 consecutive days with record-setting highs. This one's going to be really close on Friday, and then we're still hot Saturday, Sunday. But I think those records there from 1940 are safe on Saturday and Sunday. But that would stretch this. So yesterday, today, that's 2 plus 5. I would stretch this to 7 consecutive days of 30 or hotter. There's the change for early next week. Chance of some scattered showers Monday, Tuesday, and back into the low to mid-20s by the middle of next week.
Josh, I wonder what the record is for most record-setting days in a row. That's one for you to work on. All right, thank you. The Edmonton International Airport is helping some rescue dogs find their forever homes. The Dog Days of Summer event encourages people to adopt a pet. The dogs are from the Greater Edmonton Animal Rescue Society. The event also showcases programs available to dog owners, including pet therapy. Organizers say it's also a way to give travelers an extra warm welcome.
Just the look again on everybody's faces when they see the dogs interact and when they get to interact with them, like, it just makes people happy. It's just amazing, like, the effect that animals can have on people.
It's a great welcome for passengers that are coming home, and definitely it relieves stress. So travel is sometimes a stressful event for some people. So having those pets available when they come through into our arrivals area and they can check them out, I think is a great thing for passengers, and certainly puts a smile on their faces.
Last year, the airport helped 11 dogs find new homes. And that's our show. Thanks for watching. I'm Matt Woodman. CTV News continues right now.